Hello and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, very welcome. My name is Lee, intuitive well-being coach and teacher and founder of My Soul Self Mastery. Hello, welcome to November. I'm a little bit late in recording this month because I did record a video a couple of days ago. It is, I don't even know what date, I think it's the 6th of November today, so apologies. But better late than never, I suppose. And it wasn't 100%. So I've never done that. I always just record and post and trust that it'll find whoever it's meant to. But I just felt really called to re-record this. I think because there was so much in it. And what I do is I channel in the moment. And I really wanted to, and I love to give some really useful information for you guys to actually do something about it. So I'm not just telling you about the energy and then leaving it. Not everybody is able to come for an appointment or book an appointment or, whatever, do the course or, So I want to be able to give as much value here as possible. And I just didn't feel in the last video, I was going to do a follow-up. I was actually going to do a part 2 and 3. So I'm going to try and just do everything in this video. If possible, we'll see. So I'm just having a wee drink of my cacao. And I was hearing, when I sat and closed my eyes there, and I asked for some guidance on November. I've obviously got some, some guidance from doing the first video, so which helps. And I can definitely see those things coming through just with my one-to-one clients and talking to various people about the energy of November. But the one thing I was hearing, and it is very obvious, it's November, okay? So, saying no in November is what I'm hearing. But what I was hearing, which is interesting, which I haven't heard in any other years, because I did hear this last year, November, and there's a few things going around social media saying that too. But what I was hearing was saying no to remember, because November has the words, nearly all of the words of remembering, apart from R. So a little bit of R&R is what I'm hearing. So saying no, R&R, resting, meditating, taking cacao, to remember your gifts, to remember who you are, to remember why you're here on earth, okay, to remember why you wanted to be a human, okay. It was never going to be easy, ever. Souls queue up to become human, to learn from this planet of duality, okay. Earth is a school, and we learn so much here, so much, but it's very overwhelming, and we forget that. So you're being asked to slow down and say no to various things in November. December is a busy enough month to come. I'm encouraging many people to detox, and on a physical level and a mental level, from social media, from certain foods, because and look forward to going out and having fun and partying and being with loved ones and lots of different energies in December. But in November, pull in. November it's the 11th month, okay, and it is the month of the 1111 portal. Now, not all portals are manifesting portals, but the 1111 one is just the pure fact of the number 1111, okay. It is all about new beginnings. It's all about forward movement. It is the pillars. And if you think about, I talked about the number 10. And it has a masculine and a feminine, the feminine being the 0 and the masculine being the 1. So, when we think about November and the 11s, then it's a forward momentum movement of us being in our masculine, okay, of action. But that's not coming the first couple of months of November. Why? Really, from the 1st to the 11th, it's like a portal in itself, so that we can almost... when you want to move forward, when you set intentions, you set these intentions and then you surrender them, and then you observe, and then you allow the old parts of you that are self-sabotaging, old behaviors, old beliefs that are blocking that thing, version, whatever behavior, intention coming to you, you allow that to show up so that you can integrate that part of you, reconnect with that part of you, heal that part of you, let go of that old part of you, not repeat the same patterns and behaviors. So it is a really reflective process before a forward movement. And for many, we're being encouraged to close out this year. Number 8 year of balance, number 8 year of power, number 8 year of abundance, I'm hearing. And you really won't see the fruits of your labor until next year, generally from spring onwards, Bridget's day from the 1st of February in bulk. Okay, so let's just take a moment to connect with the number 11, to connect with these two pillars. I will be recording an 11/11 activation. I've already been seeing bits and pieces of what that is. I'm very excited about that. It feels really powerful and beautiful. My October activation, which is extremely healing, has a lot of healing, a lot of Reiki codes in it, was very much about healing the physical body. All the 4 bodies, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. It's still available. So I'll pop the link below. Okay, so let's just begin. So let's set the intention together. What is the general energy for the collective for November? I'm actually just going to say that first. What's the general energy of the collective for November? What is our main guide working with us specifically in November? Did you notice I put that card back? Because I hadn't really finished my intention. And of course the same card comes out. Okay, so I'm actually going to put glasses on now that I've found them. Lost them. Couldn't see. Now I can see. That's a bit of a symbolism for November as well. Okay, a wee bit. To be clean. Okay. So we have Miriam, Sacred Vision. And it's funny, I'm just being very drawn to the roses. And I don't normally use the Rose Oracle, but I did decide to use it. I feel like we need some gentle, feminine energy this month to help us through the month. So I'm very drawn to the roses in the back, and then we have the lilies here. So that feels very much like lilies are connected to death, actually. So death and then the rebirth. Okay. Also the twins. Okay, so but I'm seeing that as the number 11. So I'm seeing the number 11 being about the 2 sides of you. Okay, whether it be your good and bad, whether it be your dark and light, whether it be your feminine and masculine. And I do talk about trying to really understand the feminine and masculine energy, especially within yourself. And it took me a long time to really understand the feminine and masculine energy, and then to embody it as well. So spend some time doing that. First of all, what you want to do, let's be practical here and give you some really useful advice. And I've said this in other videos, but just, sometimes you need to hear it a few times. I encourage you to understand within your birth chart what your feminine energy is and your masculine energy. So your feminine energy is Venus and your masculine energy is Mars. And that will be in a particular sign. You can get a free birth reading done on acafeastrology.com, just free birth chart. It literally, you just need the time and date of your birth. Obviously you'll have the date. If you don't know the time, just tune in and sort of try and get as closest to it as possible. Okay. And then when you find that out, again, I'm not an astrologer, so I don't know a huge amount about it, but what I had to do with mine was actually just go on to good old Google and try and understand as much as I knew about Cancer, and I knew quite a lot about Cancer. I have a Cancer sun, I'm on a Cancer Leo cusp. I had to understand what it meant for my feminine being in Cancer, and it helped me to no end to understand when I need to rest, why I go so deeply, why I shut the world out. Literally, I have a shell and I have to go into that, but I also need pulled out of that. And my masculine does that quite well because my masculine is Gemini. Gemini is the communicator. Gemini is the adventurer. Gemini is the twins. Okay, so very interesting. All right, so get to know that. And it starts from there. But also, just to help you understand the feminine, I mean, I talk about feminine being feminine flow, your intuition, anything on the left-hand side of the body. But it's also surrender. It's also gentleness. It's also compassion and love. Doesn't mean that it's too soft, doesn't mean there's no boundaries, but it's important that you show that to yourself. It's important that you rest. It's important that you put you first, okay? Which is something that, particularly as women, we can be inclined not to do. It's just like an ancestral thing that's passed down, okay? And with our feminine, we have, you know, the light and dark feminine, which is Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene energy, which is a whole other, you know, topic in itself. But the feminine is, it's not easy. It's like, I'm hearing it's new earth, and not many have been embodying it, including myself. And I'm a feminine energy teacher, so I've really had to master it. And I'm hearing that November, it's a master month. So it's a month for you to really master and understand yourself. It's why I've called my business Soul Self Mastery. Soul Self Mastery is you understanding your soul self. Your soul self is your true authentic self. And many of us do not let him or her out. We don't feel safe to be your true authentic self. We learned a very long time ago to please, to fit in, to be liked, I've just bought a book, The Courage to Be Disliked or something, from, I noticed it on my friend Samara's page. I was like, oh, that's a good book. Also reading another one she's recommended, is, she loves her books, is The Witch Wind, okay? And as much as we can know about that, it's very important. It's very important to read books, okay? A really good book that I would recommend, actually, and I will pop the link below to quite a few, okay? I'll pop the link. There's one called The Dark Side of the Light Years, which I've mentioned before. There's one on Setting Boundaries Sets You Free by Nancy Llevin. Boundaries is key. The other one is called The 72 Keys to Manifestation. Okay, and what I love about that, particularly the audio version, and all three of those actually have meditations at the end of each chapter. So it's the reading and then the doing. So it's a bit like me doing this video. I don't just want to do an energy reading. I want to really help and give you practical tools to work on. This is the month of mastery, soul self-mastery, of you understanding that soul self. Okay, we have a physical self, a mental, an emotional, and a spiritual. The soul knows the way. It's the human self that gets in the way. It's important to meditate. It's important to, like, literally pull back to the basics. Meditation, drinking cacao, cutting down sugar and caffeine, not distracting yourself with, you know, Netflix or too much chocolate or alcohol, or just going out and meeting people. You know, leave that to December. Okay. Yeah, and then the other thing that I'm seeing here is this is Chalice Well. Chalice Well is in Glastonbury, and I've been lucky enough to go there on a beautiful retreat there. I'm Spirit showing me my green nail varnish, which is the heart. So that's just a reminder of your heart chakra. Be in your heart this month as much as possible. And it's something that we don't do as a society, and because we're scared of getting hurt. But if you understand nothing can hurt you, and if more people would be in their heart, you know, there would be less defensiveness and less attack in the world. But it doesn't mean you're soft, okay? It just means you can see the bigger picture and the higher perspective. Just on that, we are obviously in Scorpio season, okay? And the Scorpio it's obviously an animal or creature, whatever, in its shell, okay? And we've been asked to shed, Scorpio is connected to fears. We've been asked to shed those fears, shed the old skin, a bit like the snake and the Kundalini, okay? And Scorpio season is actually connected to 3 animals: the scorpion, the eagle, and the phoenix. Okay, and that is like the 3 stages that we will go through in Scorpio season in November. Very similar to the butterfly, cocoon, caterpillar. So caterpillar, Scorpio, shed. Then we go into the cocoon, which is when you're in your cocoon, and when it's in the cocoon, everything blows up, goes to mush. It's a very, very distressing place to be. Well, there's not much movement, but you're like sitting with all your stuff. And what we tend to do is distract to avoid feeling and going there. And that is where we need to be as the eagle, seeing things from that higher perspective, looking down and observing, not necessarily doing too much, but just observing. Okay, when you can, if you're in a situation, a very difficult situation, if you can feel yourself rising up and look at you, look at the other person, look at the situation, oh my goodness, it's a beautiful skill. Try it. Anybody can do it. Okay, it's what I do in all my sessions, but anybody can do it. Okay, and that's you're being the eagle, the observer, and the eagle is connected to Horus, the third eye, all the rest. So you might notice eye stuff, hence why I lost my glasses, blurry eyes. Okay, as you're starting to get clarity and see. Okay. And then we have the phoenix rising from the ashes, the ultimate death, and rising out as your true self, as this phoenix. Okay. Then we have Guthumi. So you're being asked to protect your energy this month. You should be really protecting your energy every month, but also and every day, I'm hearing. Cutting cords every day, connecting with the energy of, there's the snake, there's the energy of the gold, which is the wisdom, which came in December or in November there, and there's some in my nail varnish actually. That's connected to the solar plexus. It's connected to your will. It's connected to feeling good enough. It's connected to your inner teenager. It's connected to the liver, gallbladder, anger, resentment. Okay, it's connected to the pancreas, hormone gland. So that's all, where we will, that's where our addictions are, is what I'm trying to say. Where we will, addictions can be anything from food to clothes to Netflix to social media, just distractions, okay? And that's where the wind is. And when we, eat or drink or distract, instead of going into the wind, we're just putting a layer on that. Feel it. Okay. Connect with the energy of the Ankh. The Ankh is actually, if you see your body as an Ankh, that's a really quick protection thing that you can do. The cross is here, which is the masculine, the loop at the top, which is the feminine. That is the original cross, which includes both the feminine and the masculine energy. It's also a key, and this is on his heart. Okay. So the key is within your heart, the key to everything. Okay, the answers are within your heart. It actually says on there, you already know the answer you seek. Trust what you know. Trust your intuition. Trust your gut feeling at this time. If something doesn't feel right, generally it isn't. Remember that, okay? The other thing that I am just seeing here, which I didn't see, I didn't read this one. It says here, sacred vision. So it's all about the vision. Choose to forgive. Forgiveness is not letting the other person away with that. They already know. It is so you can move on. Okay. Now there's some situations where you may not be able to forgive, just accept them and move on. Okay. But where you can, knowing that we know not what we do, and hurt people, it's for you to heal. See the light in all, but remember that love has no boundaries. When you're fully healed in your heart, you don't need protection. Okay. I do want to do a separate video on protection, but it requires quite a bit of time, attention and research, but I will do it because I'm really feeling called to. This third energy supporting us, and notice that there's 2 men and that looks like 2 women twins, but is Odin. And Odin is the psychic knight. Psychic insight it says, but I'm hearing psychic knight. And your third eye is open. So lots of stuff about the eyes. We're getting lots of downloads in a minute. We are in this very strong period of ascension, and you know, when ascension comes in, when like downloads come in and light codes come in, particularly with the amount of solar flares, let alone what, you know, full moons, new moons, portals, Samhain, you know, Yule, whatever is going on, there's lots, okay? Our body needs to rest to receive it. You generally don't know in the moment, which is why you're being asked to say no in November. And then as you meditate and as you go about your day and as your body releases, and you might release through sickness, you might get sick as downloads come in because you haven't stopped. That's a way of, you know, your soul self, your higher self getting you to stop to receive, okay? Your third eye is open, see the truth for what it is and follow your intuition, the feminine. Okay, think of the witch wound, which many of us have, okay? If you're spiritual in any way, male or female, the punishment for using your intuition, the punishment, the torture, that is all connected in with our soul and past lives, okay? So we are going to avoid that at all costs. Just trust it, right? We come in fully connected to our intuition as babies, but then we disconnected from that. So that's why it's important to not keep disconnecting from the self with social media or with food or with distractions. Reconnect back with the self. You know, if you are craving connection, if you're feeling lonely, if you're feeling, you know, just really disconnected from the world, or you're wanting a relationship, you start with that connection, repair that one with the self first. Okay. Okie dokie. Literally 21 minutes and I've only pulled 3 cards, so we'll maybe not pull too many cards today. So let's ask for one animal guide for the collective. What animal guide is working with us in the month of November? This did come up the last time, the red crown crane. Okay, and the sacred abyss. There's lots of birds. Do you notice? Lots and lots of birds. And funny, I woke up yesterday and I could hear the birds singing as if there was a nest. Now they're gone. I would be very connected to the birds, so I'm just noticing this psychic night Odin, and all the birds in the background. So birds are messengers. So look at these birds. We have the sacred abyss. So this is the doorway. It's number 22, but it's also the 1111 doorway. So, because really the 1111 doorway, we prepare for it, half opens on the 1st, lots of preparation comes in, opens on the 11th, and then it shuts on the 22nd, okay? The sacred abyss is it's a very strong learning period, so we might not be able to make sense of it, but we do have to slow down. You know, just like any learning period, if you know you're studying, you have to dedicate that time to it. Okay, this also looks like a book. It looks like you're opening the book. It actually looks like the Akashic Records to me, which is like, you know, it's connected to the back of the neck. I'm seeing the back of the neck. If anybody gets neck pain, it's like the answers are all in here. And I often see with the one-to-one clients, you know, the back of the neck is the key, is, you know, when that ink, I'm seeing that ink going into the back of the neck and opening this up and just opening the doorway, but a lot of is going to come out. And what's interesting is, if any of you did my October activation, we ended with going into the wardrobe from the Lion, the Witch, and the wardrobe. And this is what I'm seeing also. This is what it looks like. And we're going into that, into another world to go and find out what's going on. Okay. Yeah, the red crowned crane, it just says loyalty. So, you know, it feels about being loyal to yourself first, okay? And then, of course, we have Anubis. Now, Anubis would be, Anubis has been working with me for a very long time. Would be probably one of my main guys, and I don't talk about him enough. And he's really wanting to come through with this dark and light video. As you can see, it's number 44, which is I'm a number 4, which is all about foundations, but I'm also number 8. 4 and 4 is 8. Okay, so apart from the fact he's got a very nice 6-pack there, hasn't he? There's the ink. Okay. And Anubis is a jackal-headed god. It's actually Isis's, which is the Egyptian priestess, Isis's nephew. Okay, Isis's brother Set, it's his sun. He was very dark, okay? So what he helps to do is he helps to souls pass over. He helps to clear negative energy. He's very, very powerful. And he helps to bring the truth as well, okay? Sometimes we want the truth and then we get the truth and it's not easy, okay? We want to unknow, okay? So sometimes, so it feels like a lot of truths are coming in November. So just be prepared that we have called this in. It is time to know and it's time to see, okay? Let's pop him over there. Right, let's just pull. I'm actually just going to, I've got many cards, 5. I'm actually just going to pull one from each, okay? I'm going to pull one from each. I'm going to ask for the energy of November, and I'm just going to shuffle each one. And I'm actually just, I'm going to do 2 from each. I'm going to take the top and the bottom card, okay? Top and the bottom card for November, please. For the collective, top and the bottom for November. What do we need to know? It's so hard for me to take the top and the bottom because cards just come out. I hope I'm doing this the right way, because whenever I shuffle it just sticks to my hands. Top and the bottom for November. Top and the bottom for November. Okay. We'll save a wee bit of time. Okie dokie. Abundance. I mean, this is the most powerful manifestation portal, which is why I'm putting the link for that book down. Okay. Abundance. Love that. Improving health. This is the year for healing the physical body. You know, so many people are feeling such physical pain this year. Like this year, like, yeah, I know it's the menopause, but I had underestimated. And thankfully, I'm through the worst of it. So, you know, haven't had a cycle in 7 months, and that's when the pain particularly started. Still don't have a cycle. Everything's lifted. It's gone. You know, the symptoms, because I've really went into them in such a spiritual, well, no, I'm not going to just say spiritual, physical, mental, emotional and spiritual way. It's what I do. So I really want to talk about that, but I thought I was not, I was just in a lot of pain. That's the way to describe it. So I do want to talk about that, but other people have been in a lot of pain as well. So improving health will come in November, okay? So that you can actually just celebrate all your hard work in December, okay? Now I pulled these cards the last time, and they're from the Earth Oracle deck, and I wouldn't normally pull these, but I love how this came up the last time. I always wanted to see which ones came up a couple of days ago when I did this video, and it is the fairy circles. I have been feeling the fairies everywhere, and fairies are not something we talk about a lot, okay? And it first sort of caught my attention, and this is what I want you to do with your intuition, is literally look at the signs everywhere, the universe, your soul self, your ancestors, all talking to you, inner child, inner teenager, all talking to you through signs, numbers, whatever, okay? And you know, Ireland, I'm obviously in Ireland, I'm Irish, and this is where the most fairy circles are in all of the world. You know, there's and the fairies they're fun, they're mischievous, there's good and bad, and they're wanting to work with us just to help us ground. And also the ultimate fairy is Maleficent, okay? And that's what my daughter dressed up as Maleficent for Halloween. So that's all very well. That was the first when they first came towards me. And I'm encouraging people actually to watch a lot of movies this month to get the symbolism of the movies. So if you haven't watched that, Maleficent 1, particularly Maleficent 2, it is where she rises, I don't want to ruin it, but as a phoenix, okay? So it's very relevant, okay? And the general story of fear and of something being bad, but it's not really, okay? Especially the dark feminine, okay? So the fairy circles here, it says, I see magic everywhere. And you know what? I actually am going to read from this book because I feel it's relevant for us to know a little bit more about this. I see magic everywhere. I look deeper for a solution. I am open to transforming myself. Curiosity is valuable to me. So those words in themselves are very, very important. I see magic everywhere. Fairies are magic. Believing in magic, believing in miracles, believing in something you've been told isn't real, but you felt it's real. That's the intuition's been shut down. You know, really when I started, how I'm able to see and channel was actually just really embracing my imagination. You know, that was the key. And then it just all opened up for me, okay? See the magic everywhere. In the darkest moments, there's a little bit of magic. There's a light. Look deeper for a solution. I was shown in the last reading, I think I was talking about Alice in Wonderland, and I've been talking about that in my sessions this week with people, where many people are feeling, and if you're feeling this, just feeling really trapped, really stuck, like can't move forward, can't move back, this just, I can't see a solution, I've tried everything. Sometimes you just need to not try and surrender and stop. When you do that, you will get the answer. When you do that, you will be shown. It's a bit like, you know, being in Alice stuck in her room, she can't get out. Okay, and she just lies down, and then she just looks. There's a little doorway, and she's like, well, I can't get through that doorway. And then she looks again, okay, but it didn't look like it was there when she was standing up. It's only when she lay down, or just surrendered, or just rested, or just trusted. There's a little potion, take a wee drink of that, she shrinks, or takes a bite of something to eat, she shrinks, she's able to get through. Okay, be open to transforming yourself. When you're calling that in, this is what happens, and a lot of stuff has to come up that is uncomfortable, okay, to be looked at. Transformation, the phoenix from the flames, that is not easy. It's like a birth in itself. It's a rebirth. It's your rebirth in November, okay. Curiosity is, what's that old term you say? And this is the thing, words are spellings. Curiosity killed the cat. Like, oh my goodness, that is something that shut us all down. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. Curiosity is brilliant. Be like a child. Be curious. We must all be like that, okay? Curiosity is valuable to me. Key energies: mystery, magic, building, transformation, support, okay? And this actually talks about this fairy circle that's in Nambia. Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything useful here to say. There's not really. So we'll go to the next one. Troy. I actually love this story. Troy. It says there, to exchange my gifts. Actually, I really didn't do very well in history at all, and I'm so annoyed with myself because I would love it now. It would really, really serve me in my work when you're connecting with past lives to understand the history, but I really didn't like skill at all. So I'm a bit annoyed about that myself, but I do remember this story. I was fascinated by this story. To exchange my gifts with the world is a positive act. Teamwork is necessarily. Whilst I can learn from the stories of others, I can create my own mythos. Beauty is an eternal. Revenge has consequences. So the story of Troy. I'm hearing Helen of Troy. Love, and also, you know, thinking outside the box, you know, to solutions, being clever, all right, using your intuition, using all of what you've got to solve something, okay. Exchange my gifts with the world. Teamwork, working together. We can't do this alone. So who is your tribe? Who can you call on for support? Okay. Yeah, and I'm very drawn to the revenge has consequences there. Stay in the heart. We need more and more. We're moving to a new earth, and it's heart-centered. Okay. Okie dokie. So we've got the Rose Oracle, the Mother Rose, yeah, returning to each other. returning to each other, and the second bloom. It's never too late. So the mother rose, compassion, humanity. That's what I was saying. So no matter what is going on, try and stay in the heart. And remember that we're all connected. Unity, returning to each other. Mothering yourself first. Also, I'm hearing the mother wound could be coming up for many, which is actually the witch's wound too, but the mother wound could be coming up for many at this time. So any issues with the mother, any issues with you and daughters, if you're female, any issues with mothering yourself. It's why Mother Earth is sort of trying to get our attention at the minute as well. To just do that, right, to pull in November, to nurture, to look after yourself, okay? I'm seeing, like, you know, just baking and cooking and, you know, baths and just snuggling children, just all those simple things that we take for granted, okay? For the second bloom, it's the second coming. I'm hearing the second coming, a second chance. It says it's never too late. New possibilities. If you're feeling like, oh, tried everything, there's a second bloom coming, okay? Possibilities are coming. You just have to believe, trust, have faith, surrender, and flow, okay? Okie dokie. All right. So we have, and I've pulled two sort of goddess cards. Okay, so we have Lalita, which is the red goddess. Playfulness is a spiritual power. Laughter leads me back to light. And I think whenever we do this type of work, I encourage everybody to have a bit of fun with it. You know, like one of my clients was, when was she with me? Monday morning. My first client, Monday morning. She's going through a really tough time. Like, my heart is like, oh, really tough. And she's so strong, and she's just, honestly, and as she walked out, there was a little lollipop sitting, you know, from the trick-or-treaters, just sitting on the path, on the step. And I said, now that's for you. Take that for your inner child, and I want you to suck that lolly on the way home, and I want you to pretend you're talking to your inner child, and I want you to have a little bit of fun with her. Just, you know, we all need a wee bit of fun. We all need a wee bit of light, laughter. It is such a good therapy. Okay, it leads me back to the light. Playfulness is a spiritual power. Everything I do here, I make this playful and fun. It does not need to be serious. The stuff is serious enough. And it just lightens everything for others and for yourself. Okay, so we don't need to seriously meditate. We don't need to write affirmations. We don't need to have a strict control on things. Pull right back, loosen the reins in November, and just simply be present with what's in front of you and work with that. Oh my goodness, it will really take the pressure off you, because you don't want this internal work and self-development, or whatever it is you call it, to be work in itself, because then we will give up and we'll just avoid it. It will become too hard. And as humans, we're designed to move away from that if it's too hard, okay? But, you know, anything worthwhile is uncomfortable. We have to go through that, you know. I'm just been shown the birth canal, just squeezing through that is uncomfortable for new life and new beginnings, which is what the 1111 is, okay? We also have Our Lady of Guadalupe. Never heard of her. The Empress of Protection. So that's just a little nod, and I'm going to keep her aside as a reminder for me to do the protection video, which I might get it done today after this, or I might get it done tomorrow, okay? I am safe, so repeat this in your head. I am safe and divinely protected. I am held in love at all times. I am safe, divinely protected. I am held in love at all times. That's beautiful. Okay, so the last two cards, just as we close. Oh, yes, of course. I'm seeing this color a lot in people's sessions, the violet flame. We are moving through, we are closing out a major karmic cycle. That is not easy, okay? Collectively, individually. So, you know, we are moving through this fire, the karmic fire, I think I talked about the crown chakra a lot, yeah, in October. Okay, we're still moving through that energy. A lot of downloads are still coming in. We're receiving our crownhood or cronehood, whatever it is you call it. I talked about all this in the last video. Okay, transmutation in here. Chamber of the violet flame. Karmic release and radical transformation. Just connect with the energy of that, okay? Just take a moment here to just visualize this around you. Visualize you here, you know, and visualize moving up through the chakras, you know, red, orange, yellow, green, turquoise, indigo, and violet. Visualize that like a flame moving up through the body, up and down, ending with the edge of that flame as this violet color. Okay. And then the last card is the Akashic Records. Obviously, this is something that I do. I read clear people's Akashic Records. It's probably one of the most powerful services that I have, and the difference in people from this is unreal. The transformation, it really clears a lot of stuff. But what this is telling me is that many of you are clearing your Akashic Records. There's stuff coming up at the minute that is past life, that doesn't make any sense. And, you know, it's interesting, you know, not a lot of, I've always been a bit obsessed with past lives. Before I even knew I could even connect with them, read them, see them, I've just been obsessed with them. I just always knew they were there. I just always had a knowing. And there wasn't an awful lot available. So I just kept ploughing on, researching and finding and reading. And even the Akashic Records course that I bought, like I bought it and sat on it for 5 years because it was just too intense for me. And I was only able to actually look at it in lockdown in 2020 and actually do it. Clearing old stories, it says, releasing past lives and freedom. So trust that if something is coming up at the minute and it doesn't make any sense to you, but you feel intense in your body and you're not being logical in your head as to what the outcome could be, and the fears coming up, trust that that's probably not from this lifetime. You don't necessarily need to know what it is, you know, although you can go into many meditations, you can see a practitioner, but you don't need to. You just need to hold yourself through that, because past lives are not past lives. They're all happening at the same time. They're all happening simultaneously. If you've ever watched a really good series called The Devil's Hour, horrible name, but anyway, The Devil's Hour, which is 333, apparently 3:33 a.m. Okay, which is Christ consciousness energy, but that's the take on it. But people don't associate with that, but it's actually a Christ's energy, you know. And because the devil's it's not a bad energy, okay, it's actually Uranus energy, Pan, the stag king. But anyway, we'll go into that. I'll bring that into the dark night video. So the Devil's Hour, and there's 2 series. It's on Prime, and there's a 3rd one coming out probably next year. That's fascinating. It's really good, actually. It's quite intense at times, but it just gives you a really good understanding of past lives. A really good understanding, and a book that I would recommend to people about this was just really, really simple. It's The Midnight Library. Okay, it's where this girl starts off and she wants to attempt suicide, or she tries, and then she's taken into a big library, which is, to me, that's the Akashic. Okay, it's just a simpler way of explaining it. Okay, and the Akashic Library. And she goes in, and all of the books available are all the choices and decisions that she's ever made throughout all of her lifetimes. If she said yes to that guy, if she didn't go on that bus, if she went to that university or took that job or whatever, what would have happened? And we always think, what if? And in every lifetime, it's a struggle, you know, because life and earth is a skill. And that's how we learn. And that's how we grow, and that's how we evolve, okay? But just to understand that it's there, it would just ease things for you, is what I'm hearing. Okay, so I'm going to end there in 44 minutes because that feels very relevant right now. And just as we close, I'm just going to ask for one word for November from this little, because I forgot to pull these. One word. grace. Be in a beautiful place of grace in November. Grace for yourselves, grace for others. And if you struggle with that, pull back, say nothing. Well, say no in November so you can remember, okay?